When Parliament resumes this week, all eyes will be on Bridget Archer, the MP representing the government's most marginal seat. In her first term, the Bass MP stood out by speaking up on issues that put her at odds with coalition colleagues. With plenty of contentious legislation still on the government's agenda, this sitting fortnight could test Bridget Archer's resolve. But as Andrea Crothers reports, Bridget Archer soon faces an even bigger test against her Labor predecessor.
In northeast Tasmania lies the Morrison government's most marginal seat, and aptly so, with voters like this.
I never vote for the same party every time.
Bass has been synonymous with swing seats for decades. Since the 90s, neither Labor or Liberal have been able to hold Bass for more than 2 consecutive terms. Do you think you can buck the trend?
Look, I'll give it my best shot.
It's an uphill battle, something not lost on Liberals' Bridget Archer.
It's a big task, it's a big job.
She's up against a familiar face.
We need you in federal parliament.
Ross Hart is the former Labor MP, ousted in the last election by just 563 votes. Why do you want to get back in? It obviously can't be for the job security.
Well, it certainly can't be for job security here in Bass.
Tasmania's second largest city, Launceston, is home to around 3/4 of all Bass voters. Here, healthcare is the major employer, and the stretched health system long cemented as a major election issue.
Health is a major problem at the moment with all elderly people in Tasmania.
The COVID pandemic has exposed the risks that this community faces. That's why we've got plans for investment in free TAFE in areas of high demand, things like aged care, disability care.
Tasmania has held its spot as the best performing economy in the country for the last 8 quarters, with both the Coalition and Labor pitching a big spending COVID recovery. Some voters are worried neither side will confront the nation's eye-watering debt, nearing $1 trillion.
How are we going to pay for it all? I don't know. Still can't work that out.
I think that we should be charging big business, a lot more tax.
Pip Stanley is hopeful voters turn away from the major parties, even if it means a minority government.
Sometimes when they're scared they want to keep things the way they are, but look at the state we're in.
Bridget Archer is a former mayor turned maverick first-term MP who has made her presence in Canberra known. First by breaking ranks and condemning the Coalition's move to make the controversial cashless welfare program permanent.
The cashless debit card program is a punitive measure.
And most recently, Archer caused Coalition chaos when she crossed the floor in a failed attempt to force the government to debate an independent MP's bill for a Federal Integrity Commission, much to the ire of her colleagues.
The absolute lioness of the 46th Parliament.
But in the political jungle, Labor argues it's nothing more than a dull roar.
If Bridget Archer says something in Canberra, is she listened to? Has anything that she's addressed actually resulted in change? I don't think so.
Do you regret doing that?
No, not at all. And I still think that it's incredibly important.
Unlike the Coalition's failed promise, Labor insists if elected it will deliver an anti-corruption commission.
I'll be continuing to push for us to legislate for a Federal Integrity Commission.
Bridget Archer's outspokenness may have caused the Morrison government grief, but it could prove to be her saviour in the volatile fight for Bass.
She seems to have to stand up for her opinions and stand up for her ideas. We never saw Ross between elections.
I think Bridget's done a very good job. It's not about that, but I think she'll get caught up with everything else that's going on.
In the battle for Bass, it's the same players. But is it a different fight?
I think it's a different fight, and the reason why I say that is the fact that we've seen 2 years of incompetence from the Morrison Liberal government.
To a degree, it's the same fight. It's the same two people with the same values that they took into the last election.
Same winner?
I hope so.
Andrea Crothers, Sky News in Bass.